All right, Shalom. This is Horror One by Nyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash Ma'amath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Menakwati, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right, so this lesson right here is going to be, let me turn this music down. This lesson right here is going to be an introduction into the book of Psalms, Psalms 83. Let me go to it real quick. All right, Psalms 83. All right, so Psalms 83 is a psalm that's a psalm, which means song, S-O-N-G, written by um, one of King David's musicians named Asaph, all right, or Asap. Now, just to give you a little information on him. Go here. It says Asaph is a name, or Asap is a name that appears. I forget what his name means. Gather. I think his name means to gather. Here you go. Right here. All right. Asap. All right. Asap, which means to gather. And I think he was a Levite, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, he was a Levite. Asaph. Asaph is a name that appears in the Bible and refers to multiple people, including a musician. All right. So our people were musicians. They would write psalms and prayers. They would sing them. Even Moses was a singer. Um, Now, King David, what he would do is he would write prayers and psalms out, and a lot of the musicians they would transfer it into music form so they could read it and play it, and vice versa. Sometimes the musician or would write a psalm themselves and show it to King David, and he would approve it. And this was one of those prayers, one of those psalms that Asaph wrote in prayers to Yahweh for him to judge the nations that came against us, for him to judge the nations that Yahweh sent against us for us rebelling against him. All right. Asaph was praying to Yahweh to judge these nations the same way he judged us, if not even more. So I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but I want to read an introduction to it. And then Yahweh Ratazah throughout the rest of this week, I can go into the rest of the chapters. All right. But he was a musician, a recorder. It says a musician and worship leader. All right. So Asaph was a Levite who served in King David's court as a musician, worship leader, and a prophet. So he was also a prophet. So what we're about to read is prophecy. He is credited with writing Psalms 50, 73, and also 83, which we're about to read today. All right. Um, yeah, so that's it on that point. Just kind of give you an idea who Asaph was, a prophet. Now let's go back. All right. So he in the prologue it says God implored to confound his enemies, man. All right. And we know all these nations they have shown themselves to be enemies to the children of Israel. All right. In the prologue in the KJV book, it says a complaint to Yahweh of the enemies conspiracies or conspiring against us. The nations were conspiring against us, just like they conspired against Yahweh. All right. The Lord said that anybody that hates us, it hated him before it hated us. In the same way, what you call the United Nations? It was called the United Nations, right? Uh, After World War II, the United Nations was started to keep control on Germany. All right. So if Germany was to seek conquest or to take over the world, then all these nations would come together and go to war against Germany. Same thing they did with us. They all united against us. You know, but the difference is they wanted to do away with Israel off the earth. They trying to get us off the earth, our existence. You know, but they couldn't stop us. All right, if you read Revelations 11 and 8, matter of fact, let's start off with that. Let's start off there real quick. Let me go there real fast. This is Revelations 11 and 8. Why not? Yeah. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. That great city is a Babylon, America, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. So it's the spirit of sodomy, the spirit of our captivity is here. All right. And idolatry is in this place. Where and also this is going to be the place of our deliverance. All right. And the second Passover. Where also our Lord was crucified. All right. So this is where they did away with the not only us being the Israelites, but also with the name of Yahushua, they did away with the Hebrew and forced English, and you know they did away with the truth of Yahushua here with our captivity in America. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations, so all these heathen nations, the ones that were conspired against us, that said, let us cast them behind us so that the nation of Israel shall be no more. Well, check it out. They shall see their dead bodies. See, they helped in causing us to become spiritually dead, and ran us out of our land and took over our nation, our land. So they shall see their dead bodies. So they see us, and they know it. A lot of them know we're Israelites, especially Ishmael and these African, the Hamites. You walk up to them, yes, you are Israelite, you know, and they try to apologize for what they people did. Then you had the trans-Sahara slave trade, you know, with Ishmael and the Hamites were involved in that. You see how Moab do? They get all the stores in our neighborhoods. So they're still Confederate against us. All right. Three so they shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. They saw us in captivity 350 years and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So they didn't tell us the truth. That would allow us to have some form of rest. One of the main parts of slavery was what? They wouldn't allow us to read. All right. And this was part of the curses. Deuteronomy 28, he said, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. All right. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them. So all these nations, they rejoiced over us as a fallen nation, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another. All right. Uh, uh, what is it? Postcards with gator bait on it, and sending slaves back and forth, sending skin lamps made out of Israelites and boots. Um, because these two prophets, see, Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom of Israel, well, what did we do? Tormented them that dwelt on the earth. All right. We were torment to these nations. Let's see what torment means. We were thorn in their side, man, giving these nations hell for being wicked. When the Lord is with us, who can be against us, man? All right. Um, to torment, right? Let's see what this is. To test metals by touchstone. Uh, to question by applying torture. To be harassed, distressed. So we were harassing them, man, with righteousness. All right. Especially King David and Moses, Ehud, Deborah, and Barak, you know. what's his name? Othniel. So yeah, we were giving them nations hell, man, because the Lord was with us. All right. Shamgar, these are all Israelites, right? Caleb. So now let's go back. So these two nations, they don't want us to come together. They don't want us to be who the Lord called us to be, his children. Because these two prophets, the children of Israel, northern kingdom and southern kingdom, tormented them that dwelt on the earth. All right. So now you see why. You can see why they would want to conspire against us. Let's go back to Psalms 83 again. Psalms 83. Let me check my sound every time. All right. The Psalms 83 and 1. Let's see if we can kick this off now. All right. It says a song or psalm of Asaph. Now it should make sense who he is. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, right? Because if the Most High speaks, thunder and lightning is heard in the heavens, man. Judgment is cast out. But now he kept silence. And when he keeps silence, those nations, he allows those nations to have their way with us. Hold not thy peace and be not still, right? Because if the Most High was to move on them, they would be they would be able to do nothing against us. All right. Oh Yahweh, right? Because the Most High is no longer gonna hold his peace anymore. He said, I have a long time holding my peace as touching their wickedness, man. Not only our people, but these heathens as well. All right. So let me see if I got a precept. So um for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. So the enemies um are these nations, man. All right, and they're heathens. Heathenism goes into paganism. And that's why the Lord said, what does light have to do with darkness? They represent darkness, and we represent children of the light. So for lo, thine enemies make a tumult against thee, man. So they're um, revolting against the Lord. All right. And they that hate these, they hate the Most High. They hate his people. They have lifted up the head, man. So they have rebelled against the Lord's people and against Yahweh. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. You know, just like I said with the United Nations, all these nations have taken crafty counsel against us. What's that? Um, a good example of that would be let me get this real quick. Where is it at? Let me see if I can get it. Hmm. There you go. Start here. All right. Let me see some. Yep, this is what I want. All right. So John 15 and 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Now, this is really talking about the elect being hated, even of his own people, 2/3 of our people. But ultimately, you can look at all Israel as being hated by the nations as well. If ye were of the world would love his own. See, that's why the nations didn't love us. They hated us. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. See, this is really talking about the elect. But Israel is an elect nation, according to the book of, I think it's Ezra, where it says the other nations are as a drop of a bucket, but the Lord chose Israel. All right, and he will yet choose Israel. So Israel is a chosen nation, but within that chosen nation, you have an elect of Israel. All right. Um, it says, "But I have chosen you out of the world; therefore the world hateth you." See, that's why the world hated us. because the Lord has chosen us to be a special people unto himself. Now, even the elect are chosen to be a special branch of that tree of Israel. All right, this is the one I want to. Let me get Luke. So they've taken crafty counsel against us. 16 and 21. They followed in the ways of Esau, especially when they were building the railroads here in America. You had Moab come over here in the west and putting hell on Gad, even with the northern troops of Esau, America, putting hell on Judah, Benjamin, Levi. All right. Um, let's get this. Luke 16 and 21. Let's go to 19. The rich man and Lazarus. All right, Lazarus is another word for Jacob. Luke 16 and 19. There was a certain rich man. In this case, the rich man was Esau, which was clothed in purple and fine linen. All right, put in a position of royalty. Their heaven is our hell, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus or Jacob, which was laid at his gate, full of sores, man. And that's us. We were full of sores and sick and sin and beat up as a nation and desiring to be fed with the crumbs. All our people wanted today, even today, they just want a crumb. Just they willing to sell their soul for a crumb. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. All right. Civil rights, trying to get a business here in America, you know. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores, or at least somebody cared about us, right? But they were dogs. You'd think we were being helped. Yeah, we are gonna have some form of help. Most High, like I got you, but I'm gonna send dogs to you since you didn't want to listen. And those dogs are these other nations. They claim to be helping us by putting stores in our neighborhoods, convenient stores for convenience, right? But in most of those stores, are nothing but poison stuff that the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, have allowed um, into our neighborhoods, and they've been feeding and poisoning our people. You know, even fabrics with plastics. And the Lord had us wearing linen, which is made of what's that damn seed, man? Flaxseed. All right, flaxseed can be used as candles as well, but plant based. So these nations, man, they uh hurry up and buy. Everybody know that. You go in the Moab store, they look at you the same. I watched a video of a Jake over there in China the other day. You look him up, black man in China, and he always get respected over there when he's walking around. But the other day I saw a video. I didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail, and if you kind of hover over it, it'll play the video a little bit. Well, this Moabite was looking at Jake and said, "Why can't your skin be white?" Yep, sure did. That was enough for me to see right there. I said, "Oh, that's Luke 16:21." The dogs came by and licked his sores, man. Made it worse. They licking your sores, you'll think that's a form of comfort and care, but actually, a dog's saliva will get you more infected. See that? So we had sores, but then we became infected. All right. So these nations, they conspired against us with the rich man, all together. Even to this day, they're eating and thriving off the downfall of our people. But just like Asaph, this is our prayer. Let me get that real quick. Revelation 13, and where is it? There you go. Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So all those nations that have helped in our captivity, they're going to go into captivity. And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the faith and the patience, or the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints are those that made sacrifice um, to Yahweh, and that's the children of Israel. So here is the faith and patience and faith of the Israelites, especially the elect of Israel, for these nations to go into captivity for what they did to us, man, and conspiring against us. All right. Um, so let's go here and make sure I got sound. Here we go. So now let's go back. Psalms 83. And do I got another precept I want to get? No. Here you go. Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee. See, they hated Yahweh before they hated us. They have lifted up the head, and they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones, man. And that's all the nations, man. All right. Right here it has a list. I might read through the list, but they got stories to these that I want to go through, but it'll take hours to read each one. So Yahweh Ratazah, I'll be able to spread it out throughout this week. But today I want to read through this whole chapter. All right, just straight through, maybe. All right. So they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. They ain't want us to exist ever again. All right. You watch that movie Ben Hur. I think it's I forgot, it's on Netflix, I think, but a movie called Ben Hur with Morgan Freeman in it, I think. And the whole focus was them trying to keep Solomon's temple from being back on the earth, the bloodline of David, King David from ruling. All right. Psalms 83 and 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Think about it. How could they break up a band of brothers like that? They had to do it through deception. It had to be uh, um, the power that gave us that bond. He the only one that could break us, Yahweh. You know, he said we're going to discontinue from our heritage. He warned us. He said, I will scatter you and separate y'all among the nations. Matter of fact, let's get that. It's in Psalms 82. How can I go over? Psalms 82. Oops. Oops. Let me go here. My bad. Let me go to Psalms 82. And I think it's around 10. Is there 10? No, 81. Psalms 81 and 10. Psalms 81 and 10. It says this. Actually 9. There shall no strange God be in thee. See, our people started following after these nations, these heathens, even till today in America. Esau allowed Moab to start selling their goods and their abominable foods to our people. It allowed Elam, Ishmael, nations we don't even damn know, Hamites, Africans, all in our neighborhoods, but won't allow us to really set up black-owned businesses, as they call it, the stores, mom and pop stores. I watched all of them phase out and fade out in the 1980s, man, Philadelphia. You had Troy's, Earl's, all these corner stores that we used to call them. They gone. Now the only thing you got now per se is the poppy stores, which is like the Ephraimite stores. But all those stores got phased out. All right. So there shall no strange God be in thee, neither shalt thou worship any strange God. Right. And being amongst all these nations, our people took on these idols, especially with the Greeks and these Hamite idols. I am Yahweh thy power, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. So if you, the Lord saying, open your mind, and He will feed us with wisdom. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So you know, plain and simple, right? We just didn't listen. So how did these nations get the upper hand over us? We didn't listen to the Lord. We didn't listen to the prophets. We didn't listen and take heed to the warnings. Right here it says it. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So even to the day, it's like that. They like caused the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. They don't have nothing to do with the Most High. He said they won't come to the light because they don't want their deeds to be reproved. They don't want to change, stuck in their ways. So I gave them up unto their own hearts' lust, and they walked in their own counsels. All right, got turned inside out, man. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries, right? Because the Lord said, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek his face. How do you seek his face today? By seeking Yahweh Shai, seeking righteousness, seeking the truth, seeking the light. So how do you he said what? If they would seek his face and humble themselves, he would turn and heal us and heal our land immediately. So according to Revelation 7, that's going to happen with the elect. All right, not all Israel, but the elect. So we in that time, man. This is prophesied to be hopefully the hopeful year of salvation. Hopefully. I should soon have subdued their enemies, man. It's nothing for the Lord to subdue our enemies. And our top enemy is Esau ruling the world, pushing their agenda day in and day out on a course of vanity. I should soon have subdued their enemies. All right. Because he said what? He has the keys of hell and death. And turned my hand against their adversaries, man. Instead of turning them against us, the Lord gonna turn his hands against them. That I think it's Deuteronomy 34 or 30. The haters of Yahweh, haters, of course, right? Some haters. That's what they are, some haters. Yeah, yeah. That's why Elon be looking at you. You doing? I do deliveries, and I go into an Elamite damn restaurant, and the women in there, of course, they be staring. But then you'll see the Elamite man with his hands on his hip like a woman staring at you all crazy and shit. And you see Esau, you already know Karen, the names they gave these Edomites to describe their form of hatred towards us. They call them Karens and Darrens and shit, Kens. But we know what that truly means. It just means they're racist. Well, not racist, but they hate us. I should soon have subdued their enemies. So Esau's going to be subdued and turned my hand against their adversaries. The haters of Yahweh should have submitted themselves unto him, but their time should have endured forever. All right. So yeah, man, that's why we fell. That's why we ended up in the condition we were in and coming out of today. All right. So this is why they took not only that they took crafty counsel against us, but that they overcame us as a nation is because the Lord was not with us. All right. Psalms 83 and 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So they were not just against us, they came up against the Most High as well. All right. And even till today, what did look at Christianity, Islam, paganism, Antiochus Epiphanes, they hated the Most High. That's why they try to destroy us. That's why they try to force us to eat pork. That's why now they're talking about the MOTB, trying to take control. They think themselves to be God. Now they're talking about persecuting Christians per se. So they hate the scriptures. All right. So let's get a couple of precepts real quick. All right. Let me get I want this one. Let's go to Job. We'll go to Job 20 and 5. All right. So now before I do that, I want to read the rest of this a little bit, but I'm not gonna go into the understanding of it yet because it'll take me too long. So let's go here. On this one, I'm gonna get Psalms 83. All right. So we just read that part. It says what? For they Psalms 83 and 5. For they have consulted together with one consent, and they are confederate against thee. So it's really against the Most High, man, that they're trying to fight. Even in the end, Revelations 12, it says it's gonna be war in heaven. They're gonna try to fight against Yahweh Shai. All right. Psalms 83 and 6. The tabernacles of Edom. So wherever they're at, they're called the tents of Edom. And the tents of Edom are right here in America as well today, in Western Europe. The tabernacles of Edom. All right. So when they move from Petra and all those places in Edom, the desert, and they scatter out throughout the world, they become the tents and tabernacles of Edom, wherever they're at. So even in their own land. The Ishmaelites, all right, the Arabs, Ishmael, the Arabs today. All right. Um, Moab, right? Moab, Chinese, the Hagarenes, which goes into the Arabs again. All right, what's that damn nation called? Well, I can't think of it right now. What's it called? Saudi Arabia, shit. And a lot of those Arabian nations. All right. So Edom, Ishmael, Moab, Ishmael again, because the Hagarenes goes into the mother of Ishmael, which was named Hagar. All right. I'm not gonna go into these stories yet because it's gonna take me too long. But they all came together against us, going back to the 12th century BC with Ehud and Eglon, and even to the day, China, Saudi Arabia, uh, Edom, Gibal. Gibal is a Edomite nation. All right, so it's different groups of Edomites that they're naming here. I mean, heathens. It says a region in Idumea, Gibal. All right, let's go back. So the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, the Moabites, Chinese, the Hagarenes, the other factions and families of the Ishmaelites, with Ishmael being the top tribe. Gibal, which is other factions of Edom. Ammon, which goes into the Japanese, the Japanese Chinese, and which are basically South Korean and North Korean as well, because a lot of those are Chinese and Japanese people. And Amalek, which is the chief house of Edom, goes into Teman and all of them. The Philistines, and we know about the Philistines. All right, going all the way back to what's his name, Sisera, and going all the way back to also not Sisera, but Goliath. Them damn Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyr. You know about Tyr and Zidon, those African nations. Um, over there in Gaza, called Gaza today, in Palestine. which a lot of those Arabs live in that nation, in that area today. Asher, the Assyrians came up against us, right? We know about the Assyrians all the way up until Babylon, right? The Assyrians with Nineveh also is joined with them. They have holpen, meaning they helped the children of Lot. So they helped Moab come against us. That was during the time of 1284 BC with um, what was his name, man? Ehud, right? And Eglon, the Moabite. He gathered up all these nations to come against us. All right. So, and it still happens to this day. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera. The Midianites are Africans. And Yahweh Ratazah, man, we go through this week. That'll be a good, nice little journey into history that we could read this week, man. Different ones. All right. So do unto them as you did to Sisera. That's right, man. Let's get that real quick. Dang, where is that at? Let's just go to it real fast. Let me see. It's in Sirach. Sirach 2 and 1. Let's start there. Let's start there. This is Sirach 2 and 1. It says, no, that's right, man. Here you go. Let's get to the point. Verse 10. Look at the generations of old. And that's what we're doing. And Yahweh Ratazah this week, we'll be able to dive into that, looking into the generations of old and see. All right. Read and see it. Knowledge. Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? See, the ones that didn't trust, what happened? We became confounded, you know? And when we did trust in the Lord, people like Ehud, Shamgar, Deborah, and Barak, right? Um, what's his name? Radia. But anyway, who else? Caleb, Othniel, Gideon. You can go down so many names. Samson, that stood up for the children of Israel and believed in Yahweh. And it says, what? Were they ever confounded? King David. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever, because even Gideon, even though he trusted the Lord, but he was insecure in that trust, but he still abided in the Lord's fear. All right. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him, man? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. See that? He saves in time of affliction, right? Let me get this. Let me see. All right, so we coming up into that time of Jacob's trouble, that time of affliction. I got Jeremiah 20 on here. Let's go to Jeremiah 2 and 20. That's right, man. Even though these nations were confederate against us, they still couldn't stop the sun from shining on us. And when the sun shines on anything that's rooted and watered, it's going to grow. Jeremiah 2 and 20. This is Jeremiah 2, verse 20. It says here, for of old time, see, looking into the generations of old, for of old time I have broken thy yoke, man. So the Lord has always breaking us out of captivity and out of danger and out of affliction and, and trouble. For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou saidest, I will not transgress. When upon every high hill, so soon as any nation gets lifted up around us, our people become wild grapes instead of homegrown grapes. Wild grapes, they grow. If you put them on the fence, they're gonna grow on the fence and they're gonna absorb all the poisons from the fence and the rust and anything. You put them anywhere, they're gonna grow around that like a vine. But homegrown grapes are taken care of. They're sweet and they have no poisonous. They're not toxic. So our people become wild grapes. All right. I will not transgress. That's what we say. When upon every high hill, America's another high hill, exalted nation, and under every green tree, just like Adam did, hiding itself amongst the nations, right? Amongst the trees. Thou wanderers playing the harlot, man. All right, see? So he every time we go into a nation, we play the harlot, the Lord always come and free us. you know, come fight and get us back to him. Deep man, hard headed, right? So he has of old time broken our yoke, and he's going to do it again. And there's nothing these nations can do about it. Matter of fact, let's go to that real quick. Revelations 11 and 8. Here you go. Revelations 11 and here you go, verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. They go to the slave trade as well. And after 3 days and a half, so all up until the 1960s and 70s, all right, and a half, 350 years, the spirit of life from Yahweh, who they couldn't stop it, man. The spirit is more moving than any motion. It passes through all things. So, so the spirit of life from Yahweh, man, damn, so much in that. Because John chapter 1, it says Yahweh Shai is the life. The Most High created him first, and Yahweh Shai created everything. And he's the life that gives life to all men. All right, so the Most High sent the spirit of Yahweh Shai within us. And that's why we're standing up today, fighting a spiritual battle. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them. And the spirit will flee the seat. It will not enter. You can't fill up a full bottle with fresh wine. So these people that 2/3 of our people that are full of shit, yeah, basically, you know, they don't have an empty vessel for the Lord to pour that fresh water into. If anything, they got holes in their damn vessel and it pours right out, one ear and out the other. And they stood upon their feet. So now we're standing up, standing for the Lord, standing so stiffly for his name. And great fear fell upon them which saw them. Look at it, man. These nations scared. They fear it. When they see us out there teaching, they're like, oh, who the hell? Why are you yelling? Why are you so angry? All right. So this is going to happen. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud in chariots, and their enemies beheld them. So the nation's going to see it. That nothing could stop the love of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Not even death, not even us dying as a nation. The Lord can revive us and resurrect us again. The first resurrection. All right, that's coming. Resurrection means to stand up again. All right. So let's go to Job 20 and 5. See what this is. Oh, let's read this. This is Job 20:4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, man? See, look into the generations of old and see that the triumphing of the wicked is short. So these wicked nations, when they triumph over us, their triumphing is short. So even Esau, they've been let out to rule for what? A short season, a little season, right? And 1,000 years is as a day to the Lord. So that the triumphing of the wicked is short. Wow, they got a little bit of time to rule, just like Babylon did, just like who is that? Oh, damn, let me get that real quick. Let's get that real quick. Where's that at? Let's go to Joel. That's right. Where the hell is Joel at? Here you go, Joel. Let's go to 2:25. Here you go. Check it out. It says Joel 2:25. All right, they ruled over us all these thousands of years, man. But the Lord said that's just a small season compared to eternity. That's a small drop of a bucket compared to eternity. Job 22:25. And I will restore. All right, let's go to 23. Be glad then, ye children of Zion. So the children of Zion today really represents all Israel, but uh, spiritually, it's talking about the elect. That's the government that's going to be upon Yahushua's shoulders, being carried by him. And rejoice in Yahweh your power, for he have given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. And this is spiritual and physical. All right, the uh, the harvest rains, man, because the first step to the Lord taking us down, as He's doing this place, America, and these other nations, is through drought, through famine, pestilence, and then at the end it'll be war. So that's why He said, "Come down and sit in the dust, O daughter of Babylon." So He bringing it down first, and then He gonna let the nations have their way. All right. So He's gonna. So this is spiritual. He gave us the rain, which is the water, the word that falls down from heaven, watered us, like I said earlier. But then also, this is prophecy of us being back in our land again. And we're going to watch. Someday we're going to literally, with our own eyes, like Job said, see our Redeemer on this earth. And we're going to see the salvation of Israel if we're blessed to be alive to see it. But someday we'll see the crops growing again. We'll see the turtle doves in the land of Jerusalem, Israel. We'll see our people, we'll see chimneys hot again in our land. We'll hear songs sung to the Most High and not songs of sin or slavery or trying to get free. We have songs of redemption, of conquering. Like right now we're singing a new song, and He will cause to come down. So the Lord promising us that we're going to be back in that land. Um, let me get it. Sheesh. Let me just get it. Let me just get it. Mm-mm-mm. Let me go here. Amos 9, the restoration of Israel. It's clear, man. The restoration of Israel. So when the Lord restores us in that land, that's the goal. He's restoring our memory, you know, first, and then He's gonna do the rest later. And that day, Amos 9:11, and that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, meaning the the house of David, going into the elect. David's house was also 12 tribes, but spiritually, it's only going to be the elect of those 12 tribes of Israel. The Lord's raising up what? A spiritual house for his spirit to dwell in and close up the breaches thereof. All right. So the Lord going to close up the breaches so that no one can get in but the elect. And I will raise up his ruins. See, and I will build it as in the days of old. So the Lord building us up spiritually, but someday in the kingdom of Israel, Yahweh Shai upon this earth, we're gonna literally build up the land of Israel again, as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom. So we're gonna possess not only them, but we're gonna possess those lands over there too. And of all the heathen, whoa, so all the nations, all these heathens that conspired with Edom, their ambassador against us, which are called by my name, meaning Yahweh has called them heathens, not us. We just echoing it. Don't kill the messenger. The Lord called them heathens. Saith Yahweh that doeth this. See, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. All right, and the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed. See that we built up their farms, we built up their country, monuments, and they took no account of it. Revelation 2:9 said, I know thy poverty, but thou art rich, you know, and they took no account of our labors. And the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities. So someday, all those nations that passed through us and had their way with our land, that took our land, that devoured us, and it's written in their history, man, gave them the pride that they got today. And I will bring again the captivity of the people, my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, right? Because those buildings you see over there today, that's not Jerusalem, man. The temple, the second temple was destroyed in 70 AD. That temple that they're in today with Netanyahu, Bibi, that's called the Tower of Antonia, built by Herod. All right. Our temple was in the south, I think near Tel Arad. And they shall plant vineyards. Ooh, so we're going to plant vineyards in the kingdom. If we plant vineyards, that means we're going to have wine and drink the wine thereof. See? All right. Because that was one of the first levels of famine and drought was they destroyed our crops. They always said the wine languishes. But soon we're going to see that again someday. He said he's going to drink new wine with us. See, some people teach that he holding a bottle out there specifically. I got this bottle. I'm going to put it up on the shelf and hold it for y'all. No, he's saying when he comes back to the earth, he's not going to touch any wine or anything until this happens. They shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. We're going to drink new wine with us. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. See that? All right. So we made Esau's gardens in slavery, but someday we're going to plant in our own land. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith Yahweh thy power. Right. So let's go to this real quick. What was I reading? Joel. Here you go. Joel 2. Make sure I got. Oh, shit. I ain't got no damn sound. Let me make sure. Let me stop sharing it. Let me go back. All right. Yeah, Salagi, if I was teaching this whole time with no sound, man, this damn StreamYard is trash. So let's go to Joel 2 and 23. It says, "Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in Yahweh your power, for he have given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month." All right. So as soon as we get in that land, the Lord gonna immediately start sending rain, everything we need to build up the land. And the floors shall be full of wheat, and the fats shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten. All right, the locusts represent those Babylonian armies. All right, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm. So all the nations like Assyria, um, the Chaldeans, the Babylonians, the Greeks, and the Romans. They're the nations that the kingdoms that the Lord used to take us down. And I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten, and the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. That was an army that the Lord sent against us, man, all these nations. All right. So let's keep going. Where was that? Let me go back to, so the Lord said he's gonna restore all of that back to us again. Let me share this tab. Make sure I got sound. Sheesh. All right, so now Job 20 and 5. Let's read that again. 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. All right. So though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, and they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. That's same thing gonna happen to these nations that have conspired against us in Psalms 83. All right. All those nations that conspired against us, the Lord is going to make them as the chaff that the wind is going to drive away. All we got to do is look into the stories of old, how the Lord defended us and the faith that our people had. All right. So let's go to Second Ezra. Let's go to Second Ezra 3:30. I always gotta check the sound, man. It could be cutting off on me. Here we go. So this is Second Ezra 3:30. It says, "For I have seen." Is it 3:30? Yeah. "I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning, and hast spared wicked doers." Right. So Ezra's. This was 30 years after the fall of Jerusalem in 586 BC. All right. So 30 years later, which would be what 556 or so, right? So in the 30th year, around 550 BC, Ezra was crying out to the Lord the same way the musician and prophet Asaph was crying out in Psalms 83. "For when I came thither," actually, let's read this a little bit more. Let's go up a little higher. Okay, verse 28. "Are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over us, over Zion?" You know, are they better than us? No. Is Israel a homeborn slave? Right? For when I came thither and had seen impieties without number, so Ezra, he traveled amongst all those heathen nations, and he saw nothing but wickedness. Then my soul saw many evildoers in this 30th year. So for 30 years of us in captivity, Ezra saw nothing but wickedness. And what did the Most High say? Set a mark, the Wa, upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations done in the midst thereof. And Ezra was one of those people. He saw nothing but abominations and wickedness. 350 years into us, or even more than that, we've been here longer than that. But of us being in captivity here, um, we see nothing but impieties and wickedness here. All right. Evildoers in this 30th year, so that my heart failed me. Man, it was overwhelming, gave him anxiety. For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning. The Lord is long suffering, and has spared wicked doers, and has destroyed thy people. See, the Lord spared them because we were going off. The Lord is sparing Esau, reserving them unto the day of judgment, and has preserved thine enemies, and has not signified it. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? Or is there any other people that knoweth thee besides Israel? Or what generation have so believed thy covenants as Jacob? All right? Because you can look amongst all the other nations, you might find one or two people that try to keep our ways, like Herod or whoever. But in actuality, their whole nation together has not chosen to serve the Most High. But Israel, at one point, we all served Yahweh, the nation of Israel. Or, or is there any other people that know of thee besides Israel? Or what generation have so believed thy covenants as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth. And we see it today. They flowing in wealth. Look at the elites, the Illuminati members. Look at those Elamites. Look at Ishmael, Dubai, and think not upon thy commandments, man. They following the Quran and all that. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. Meaning, you weigh our wickedness against theirs, you'll see they had never served the Most High. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight, right? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not these heathens. All right. But they were all confederate against us, but they're not confederate against us so they can keep the Lord's ways. No, they were trying to cast us away and Yahweh righteousness in the earth. They try to cast that away. All right. So the Lord's going to judge these nations, man, and we're seeing it today. It was just an earthquake in China today. You know, I think the death toll is coming out now. It's gonna get worse and worse. There's allegedly in let me make sure I got sound. Sheesh. All right. There's allegedly supposed to be an announcement of China and America going to war soon. So Luke 16 and 20. Did I already read this? I think I already read this. Yeah, I already read that. Let me get Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 and 11. This is Jeremiah 30 and 11. For I am with thee, saith Yahweh, to save thee. See, this is what we got to know. We got to know. Let me make sure I got sound. We got to know that the Most High is with us, man, to save us. All right. And this is the hopeful year of salvation. Though I make a full end of all nations. What? So eventually, their triumphing is going to come to an end, and the Lord's going to make a full end of their rulership and power in this earth. So, though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet, man, those same nations where he saw us, where he sent us to be scattered, and we see all their impieties and wickedness today. You know, when I walk through America, I picture myself sometimes walking through Egypt. And I see the pyramids and all that. The same way we walking around here or walking through Babylon and seeing all their idols. The same thing. So the Lord going to put a full end to all these nations and their power and their rulership and their confederacy. Yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure. That was us going into slavery. Now it's time for us to come out of that slavery, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished, right? Because 2/3 are going to be destroyed. All right. So let me get one more precept. Jeremiah 30, 31, and 35. Damn, I hope that volume didn't cut out a minute ago, but it's cool. Jeremiah 31 and 35. Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. All right. So um, once you understand this, you'll understand Genesis chapter 4 and Genesis chapter 1. That first he created the sun, moon, and stars, and then on the fourth day he gave it what ordinances or what it was going to be to man that was about to be placed on the earth. All right. So he put all that in order. Which divided the sea when the waves thereof roared. All right. So once he set the sea up and created that, he gave that order as well. Yahweh of hosts, the heavenly host is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Yeah, you know, and you see Esau trying to mess with the sunlight. He's like, yo, we gotta stop this shit. All right. It says, thus saith Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all they have done, saith Yahweh. All right. So the Lord didn't cast off all Israel. He's going to bring a remnant back to him. All right. So let's go back to Psalms 83 real quick. Psalms 83. Um, so yeah, man, this is a prayer of Asaph for the Lord to judge our enemies and do to them as he had done to us. Um, all these nations, man, the Hagarenes, the Midianites, with Sisera, right? It says, verse 12, who said, let us take ourselves the houses of Yahweh into possession. O my power, make them like a wheel as the stubble before the wind. So all these nations are going to be, especially here in America, they're going to be caught up in this destruction, the nuclear wind, the blast. As the fire burneth a wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. And that's going to be twofold, not only with the missiles and the destruction, but also with the elect in the kingdom. The Lord going to send for many hunters, and those hunters are going to ignite and kindle and consume all the chaff and wood, just like a nuke. So persecute them with thy tempest, so with the destruction and judgment, and make them afraid with thy storm. All right, so they're gonna be afraid in the midst of World War III. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. They're gonna seek us. They're gonna seek Yahweh once the children of Israel are established, and they're gonna say, "Let us go up to the house of Yahweh so we can learn His ways." Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish. Meaning, if they try to come up against what did the Lord say? When the enemy shall rush in like a flood, that's when the Lord gonna raise up a standard. He gonna say, "All right, enough is enough, man. All right, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth, not only over Israel, but the most high is the most high power over all the earth, even these nations." All right. So you're gonna rule them with a rod of iron. So yeah, that was Psalms 83. I kind of skipped around because I'm gonna go through these stories this week, Yahweh Ratazah, dealing with these nations, right, when they came up against us. All right. So I'm gonna end it there, man. Hopefully this was edifying real quick. It's something I wanted to go through real fast. Psalms 83, introduction. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments. Let me check. Hopefully y'all can hear me, man. That damn when you skip between screens on the StreamYard, the sound audio cuts out. And there's no way around that. I done switched to Chrome. I done did everything I can. So I might use a whole nother streaming site. They got a new one called Restream. I want to check that out. It might be a little better than the StreamYard. So yeah, Salaki, if it was any sound cut out. If it was, it's probably like a brief few minutes. With that, I'm gonna say Shalom. Thanks for watching. Yahweh Razazah. See you on the next one. Stay in the spirit. Shalom, Yahweh all. Shalom, Yahweh Sop. My guys, man. All right, yo.